as we come back into the space, I'm going to introduce our next speaker. And I love how the universe works when you put your dream out there, the dreams that you're all dreaming, and how the pieces all just come into place, what it is that you need and the people that you need to have on the journey with you. And this next speaker is no exception. So, she is the founder of Starlight and Sage. It's a holistic wellness space devoted to guiding women back home to themselves through breath work, through somatic healing, functional medicine, and tantra-based practices. She works at the intersection of nervous system regulation, feminine embodiment, and cyclical living. I've got so many goosebumps already. And her foundation is simple. And it's also radical at the same time, because healing is not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world asked you to disconnect. The journey that we're on these 3 days, so you can see how just like brilliant this next spot is in this whole journey. And so what she is bringing into this space today is a conversation that most rooms don't have the courage to hold. It's about sensuality. Jen mentioned desire earlier. What is it that we desire? It's about sexuality and about what happens when a woman who has spent years being, successful and reliable and needed and all of the things for everybody else, and in somewhere all of that lost the thread back to her own body. She has lived in this territory herself, and she's here to show you the way back. So, if you could please put your hearts and your minds and your body and your hands together to please welcome our next speaker, Vanessa Cook.
Thank you so much, Allison. It is totally an honor to be in the presence of everyone today. I'm super excited, and I just want to quickly start off by saying that I know my topic today may be a little bit sensitive for some women. So I just want to start off by saying that you are in full control of the experience and your needs today, every step of the way. So, we're going to be talking about sexuality and sensuality, and oftentimes we don't realize how our bodies respond to conversations like this until we're in this conversation. So, if at any time you feel a little bit uncomfortable or if you need to take a break, please do it. I will not mind at all. Over the last few days, we've talked about like an abundance of tools and techniques to honor ourselves, and I would highly encourage you to utilize those tools. And if you can't think of anything right off the bat, let's fall back into our breath, right? Which pretty much all of our incredible speakers have talked about at one point in time. And I may be a little bit biased since I'm also a breathwork practitioner, but truly, I believe that breath saves our nervous systems. So taking those 3 deep breaths in through your nose and out of your mouth, it actually helps reset your nervous system. It takes it from sympathetic survival response into a parasympathetic rest and digest response. And I think that conversations like this require a certain level of courage. So it's courageous that you guys are here and you're listening to this, because what I want people to understand is that sensuality or sexuality, they're not wrong or taboo or things that we should keep to ourselves. Because so many women have felt disconnected for years and from those parts of ourselves without even realizing it. And honestly, I don't think that most women are disconnected because there's something wrong with us. I think most women are just freaking exhausted. I think most of us have spent years of surviving and performing and years of being what everyone else has needed us to be, right? So to take a little bit of the pressure off, I'm not going to be asking any questions or any, needing you guys to interact in any way, because I understand how sacred conversations like this have to be. I'm going to be sharing my journey today, and I'm going to be sharing experiences that I have seen from a lot of my clients. And so eventually, somewhere inside all of this and all of our disconnect, we've stopped feeling ourselves, right? And just like we've been talking about the past few days, we all know that kind of woman. We know that she is so capable, reliable, high functioning. She's everyone for everything. And she's the one who keeps the schedules running. She's the one who remembers all of the appointments. She's the one who's the cook and the maid, and she manages all of the emotions. She carries the invisible labor. She shows up for everyone else And somehow she still has the strength to smile through it all. Maybe not every day, but she definitely does most days. And from the outside, she looks like she has everything together. But internally, she feels disconnected from her body, from pleasure, from desire, and most of all, from herself. And maybe the hardest part of all of this is that most women feel ashamed admitting that, especially when it comes to intimacy. Because I know that there's some women who are listening right now who secretly dread going to bed at night. Not because they don't love their partner or themselves, not because they don't want that connection, but because they're so touched out. They're overstimulated, emotionally exhausted, disconnected from themselves. That intimacy truly feels like one more thing that's being asked of them. And almost nobody talks about that in a real, raw, and honest way. And there are even women who avoid kissing too long because they're afraid that if they kiss too long, it's going to lead somewhere that they don't have the energy for. And women who pull away from touch, they're not women who don't crave the closeness, but because touch has stopped feeling safe. It stopped feeling nourishing and connected. They start feeling like it's an expectation or an obligation or like another role that they have to fulfill. And eventually, desire starts shutting down. And again, it's not because there's something wrong with us, it's because the nervous system cannot fully open while living in survival mode. And I think this is one of the biggest misunderstandings around female sensuality and sexuality. Because women are constantly told, fix your libido, try harder, be more spontaneous, spice things up. But we're completely ignoring the fact that most women carry entire households. They're carrying businesses and relationships and emotional burdens, the expectations, our traumas, our body shame, and years of self abandonment inside of their own nervous systems. And then we wonder, where did the desire go? Why did it disappear? But desire was never meant to survive chronic exhaustion forever because true sensuality is not in performance, it's in presence. It's feeling safe enough in your body to actually experience life again and to think that you are worthy of that experience. And I think that's the deeper conversation here. Because over the last few days, we've heard all of these incredible conversations about burnout, boundaries, identity, leadership, survival patterns, money, visibility. There's been so much, right? And underneath every single one of those conversations is the body. The body remembers everything. The body remembers the pressure to be good, to be chosen, to be productive, the pressure to stay small, contained, agreeable. And your body remembers every time you swallowed the truth to keep peace, every time you overrode exhaustion, every time that you've disconnected just to get through the day. And eventually, women stop living from their body and start living against it. And honestly, most women don't even realize how disconnected they are until one day they look around and they think, why do I feel so empty still? And I know this because I lived it too. I spent years trying to heal myself while still abandoning my body. I knew how to perform strength. I knew how to take care of everyone else. I knew how to keep it going, but I didn't know how to actually feel safe inside of me. And I'll share an experience with you guys. My husband and I have been together for 15 years, and he is a really incredible partner. Has loved every version of me, all of the ups and downs and the in-betweens. And one of the things that we were lacking, despite coming so far and fighting tooth and nail for our relationship, was intimacy. And what I discovered was that we weren't communicating appropriately. My love language and his love language were polar opposites, especially while I was still stuck in survival mode. So oftentimes I would go to bed and I would be like, okay, maybe tonight's not the night that he's going to ask. And it's going to be okay because we're going to go to sleep and I'm going to be able to finally rest. I'm going to be able to shut off my brain. And then there he was trying to snuggle up to me, and my body got rigid. And I was like, oh, I love you so much. Please don't ask. Please don't ask. Hey, honey, how are you feeling tonight? And instantly, my body would just shut down. And I would turn around and I would look at him and I would say, really? And he would just say, only if you want to. And I would say, okay, it's fine. Let's just do it. I know you need it. And then we would be intimate. And I repeated that cycle for years. And one day I was like, dang, what is wrong with me? Like, is it my hormones? Is it the fact that I was so broken for so long? Like, I can't keep coming to bed thinking, I don't want to be near my husband. I freaking love him. He's my soulmate. He's wonderful. He's awesome. And it wasn't until I finally just sat with it, talked to my therapist. She's amazing. And she was like, girl, your body's not broken. Libido is not an issue. It's your safety. It's your survival. How many times in your life did you say yes when you meant no? How many times in your life did people take advantage of your body? How many times in your life did you take advantage of your body? Where's their trust? Where is the honor? Your body has kindly become that friend who relied on you to protect her, to have her back all of the time, but you just kept saying, "Oh, not this time. Oh, maybe next time. I promise I'm going to listen to you. I really do." And then you don't. Would you be friends with her? So I think that a lot of women can relate to that, right? Because most of us were never taught how to belong, never taught how to belong to ourselves. We were taught how to be desirable, how to be productive, accommodating, chosen, but not actually how to feel connected to ourselves. And this starts so much younger than people realize. Most women grew up seeing one version of femininity, one version of beauty, of sexuality. We have movies and media and advertising and pornography all feeding women highly curated, highly edited, highly patriarchal ideas of what women are supposed to look like, talk like, sound like, move like, desire like, and women internalize to that. So instead of experiencing their bodies from within, they learned how to observe themselves from the outside looking in, constantly evaluating. Am I attractive enough? Am I thin enough? Am I sexy enough? Am I too much? Am I not enough? Am I performing correctly? Am I feminine enough for this? And eventually, women become so disconnected from their natural intelligence of their own body because they're too busy monitoring themselves through someone else's lens. And this is why self exploration matters so deeply. Not because women need to become more performative sexually, but because women deserve to know themselves gently, safely, without shame. And honestly, so many women don't. There are women who know every flaw they think they have about their body, but have never actually looked at their body with compassion. Women who rush through showers, avoid mirrors, undress quickly just to get redressed, and hide themselves from their own being. And I really find that that's heartbreaking. I was there. That was me. Because your body is not just something for other people to experience. Your body deserves your presence. And reclaiming sensuality starts in super small, non dramatic ways, just tiny, slow human ways. It looks like standing in front of the mirror, softening your gaze, and just take a few moments to not criticize yourself. It looks like putting lotion or oil on your skin, slowly and steadily instead of rushing through it like it's another task. It looks like brushing your fingertips along your hair or your own skin and actually noticing the sensation again. Wearing something because you feel beautiful in it, not because it hides your body correctly or because someone else told you once that it looks good, but because it feels like you. It looks like dancing in your kitchen, moving your hips while music is playing, taking a bath without multitasking, letting yourself rest without earning it first. And yes, sometimes it even looks like learning your own body through gentle self touch, not in a shameful way or a performative way, right? Not because someone else expects you to do that, but because you deserve to do that. Because you deserve to feel good in your own body. Um, so oftentimes when we think about doing something like that, our body goes, oh no, nope, we can't do that, right? But what we need to do is we just need to slow down and take those deep breaths. And we need to slow down enough to ask, what feels good to me? Not what's expected, not what gets approval, but genuinely feels nourishing, grounding, comforting, beautiful, alive, and true to you. Because most of us knows what everyone else wants from us, but we don't know ourselves. And that disconnection affects everything from our relationships, our own boundaries, our confidence, our leadership, our creativity, our own voice. Because when a woman cannot feel herself, she struggles to fully trust herself. But when she reconnects, everything changes. She stops abandoning herself to keep everyone else comfortable, stops performing worthiness, stops chasing that validation in the same way. A woman connected to herself becomes magnetic because she becomes present. She laughs differently, speaks differently, carries herself differently because she's no longer disconnected from her aliveness. I want you to be the version of you underneath everything else, the version your body has been quietly waiting for you to remember. And maybe healing isn't about becoming someone new, but healing is finally feeling safe enough to return to yourself fully, to your body, your truth, your desire, and your humanity.
Thank you. Vanessa, you have some gifts for the folks here. We have ones for VIPs as well. Did you want to speak a little bit into that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
have a guided Tantra workbook available for everybody. And it kind of takes you through some reflections. It takes you through a little bit about what we talked about, and it helps you delve into your body in a way that feels very honoring and super reflective. And then for our VIP members, you actually get a guided meditation that I give to all of my clients who use Tantra. And it's about a 13 or 15-minute meditation, and it guides you through self exploration with body. So lots of like sensual feelings and touches, very gentle and healing, and offers you a guided breathwork technique to use for that. So those are the two gifts that I'm giving to everybody, and I'm super excited for you guys to experience it.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you for your generosity. We've got a little bit of time, so I was hoping I could ask you maybe a question, kind of out of maybe left field a little bit. But I loved
Yeah.
what you were talking about the nervous system and the safety factor in the body, because it's not something that we as women, because we often operate from this hyper vigilant state, and that hum that is running underneath us, that it just becomes our normal baseline, right? And then that
Yeah.
influences the level of safety that we can actually even feel in our body. And so I love this conversation so much. And so if you would be able to share with us when your nervous system signals that you're disconnected, as an example, what is the first bodily cue that you notice now? And what's the simplest reset that you could use to really come back home in the moment?
So I feel my typical body response is going back to feeling numb. So my body will often feel very disconnected. I'll be going all day, and someone will ask me, "Hey, how are you doing?" And my immediate response is good, but then in my head, I'm blank. And then I recognize I have done everything imaginable today to stop listening to my body. And so what I do, and lots of breathing, but what I do is I go find a quiet space, even if it's just sneaking away to the bathroom. I lock the door, I put my back against the wall, I find any way to ground myself in the present moment, close my eyes, and I just ask myself, how are you really feeling right now? And I take that nice deep breath in through my nose and I gently exhale it. And whatever word, emotion, sensation, whatever it is, I embrace it. If it's pain, I sit with that. And I give myself gratitude for being able to even experience that. And I say, oh, thank you, body, so much for carrying me through what has to be the most exhausting day. And I'm so thankful that you carried me through it because you are so strong. And I rewrite whatever that emotion was from what we would perceive traditionally as a negative and make it into a positive. And just being able to experience an emotion again, regardless of what it is, even if it's, our baseline exhaustion, when we sit inside of that emotion, we recognize little things about our body that we don't remember anymore. So, like, oh, yeah, my shoulder. Okay, I feel that. And then what do you naturally want to do? You want to comfort, you want to protect, you want to love. So, gentle massaging, strength touches, doing something that just feels good to you. And then you can sneak back and do life again until you're able to really give yourself that full restful state once more.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing you. We appreciate you so much. Can we get, did anybody else, okay, I'm gonna ask, did anybody else sound like she was talking and just like directly to you? That she knew you inside and out? Just me? I got some nods in there. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you so very much. Yeah, we've got not just me, we've got some ones in there. Yeah, so I think that you're able to speak to a level to each and every one of us that we don't even know that we could even have a conversation about it. So thank you for that. And I appreciate you breaking that part open for us. So if we can get lots of love in the chat for Vanessa, lots of hearts on the screen, and celebrating her and appreciating her for coming forward. Amazing. Thank you so much.